Fear, contempt, disgust, sadness, anger, happiness, and surprise are the 7 emotions, the innate feelings within every person. The ancient Chinese used 8 types of materials: gourds, clay, leather, wood, stone, metal, silk strings, and bamboo tubes, to create musical instruments, collectively known as the 8 sounds. Due to the distinct nature of these materials, the sounds produced by these instruments are uniquely characteristic. Now, we invite you to join Feng Channel in exploring the essence of the 7 emotions through the lens of ancient music. According to the Huangdi Neijing, the Yellow Emperor's inner canon, excessive joy harms the heart, excessive anger damages the liver, overthinking and worry harms the spleen and stomach, prolonged sorrow weakens the lungs, and intense fear or shock injures the kidneys. For this reason, those burdened by excessive worry may lose their appetite, while extreme fright can directly harm the kidneys, leading to disruptions in bodily functions. Confucianism places particular emphasis on love, hate, and desire as part of the 7 emotions. When these emotions cannot be controlled, they not only harm a person's body but also make it easy for them to lose rationality, leading to hatred from love, or even harming others out of resentment. These emotions must be mastered. Only then can one avoid losing clarity of mind and causing great misfortune. Therefore, the ancients said that when speaking of emotion, it must be accompanied by righteousness. Emotions must be guided by righteousness, and feelings should not exceed the boundaries set by propriety and morality. One must not harm others or oneself out of emotion. The ancients also specifically referred to the 8 sounds when discussing musical instruments, which represented the knowledge of ancient music, such as tonal structures, compositions, and dance aspects. Ancient music was originally used for healing and connecting with heaven, earth, and nature. Upright music could even predict the rise and fall of a nation. In contrast, degenerate music, focused on romantic entanglements, sorrow, or suffering, symbolized a nation's decline, societal chaos, and moral collapse. This type of music, reflected in the human body, could harm the spleen, liver, kidneys, and lungs, leading to functional disorders and the onset of numerous illnesses. Gong, Sheng, Yu, Zhou, and Ji refer to the pentatonic scale corresponding to the tones Do, Re, Mi, Sol, law of ancient Chinese musical theory. The Book of Music states, by examining the music of a nation, one can understand its political situation and, through that, determine how it should be governed. Or, music in times of peace and prosperity is calm and joyful, indicating that the nation is stable and its people are at ease. Music in times of turmoil is filled with sorrow and anger, suggesting that the country is acting unjustly. The music of a fallen nation is full of grief and melancholy, reflecting a people trapped in hardship and despair. The principles of sound and governance are interconnected. In the 5 tones, Do represents the king, Re represents the officials, Mi represents the people, Sol represents events or matters, La represents material possessions. When these 5 elements are in harmony, all sounds are unified. However, if any tone becomes disordered, for example, disruption of Do results in chaotic and unrestrained music, reflecting an arrogant and excessive ruler. Disruption of Re leads to clashing melodies, suggesting corrupt officials. Disruption of Mi produces sorrowful music, indicating widespread discontent among the people. Disruption of Sol results in mournful music, pointing to unresolved turmoil in the nation. Disruption of La creates unstable melodies, revealing financial instabilities. If all 5 tones are in total disarray, conflicting with one another, it is termed arrogance and disrespect. This foreshadows the nation's downfall and eventual division. Thus, music can be used to predict the rise and fall of nations, as well as their fortunes or disasters. In ancient times, Confucian scholars were required to understand music not only to govern effectively but also to cultivate well-being. This understanding marked merely the beginning of their study of music. Historical records attribute the invention of musical instruments to legendary figures. Fuxi created the qin, Nuwa crafted the sheng, Linglun developed bells. There is a historical tale as follows. The Yellow Emperor ordered Linglun to establish musical scales and create the 12 pitches. On Mount Shishanan, Linglun found a type of sturdy bamboo suitable for making musical instruments. He crafted bamboo flutes from the strongest stalks he could find. When he played the flute, several phoenixes landed on nearby trees. The male phoenix began to sing first, producing notes identical to the sound of Linglun's flute. It then sang 5 additional notes. Linglun quickly carved a flute capable of producing those 5 tones. Next, the female phoenix sang 6 different notes, and Linglun crafted another flute to replicate those tones. After arranging these 12 tones in sequence, Linglun completed the 12 pitches. To preserve these pitches, the Yellow Emperor ordered the casting of 12 bronze bells that could accurately reproduce the tones of the bamboo flutes. From then on, all musical instruments had to conform to the pitches set by the bronze bells. In addition to commissioning Linglun to create the bells, the Yellow Emperor also devised a special war drum during his battle with Qiyu to boost the soldiers' morale. The drum was crafted from the dried hide of a mythical beast called the Kui, found in the eastern sea, and its drumsticks were made from the largest bone of the thunder god. When the Yellow Emperor struck the drum, its sound echoed over 500 miles, shaking heaven and earth and amplifying the army's might. Additionally, when the Yellow Emperor ascended Mount Tai to meet the spirits and deities of the world, he composed a piece of music. This composition was grand and majestic, said to be able to shake heaven and earth and bring the spirits to tears. It was truly a celestial melody, one beyond the comprehension of ordinary mortals. Moreover, after his victory over Qiyu, the Yellow Emperor composed another extraordinary piece to celebrate the triumph to. This piece carried an unparalleled grandeur and reflected the spirit of his remarkable achievement. In contrast, modern music genres like rock and disco often stir up desires, disturb inner peace, and create discord within people. This lack of harmony leads to quick tempers and frequent conflicts with others. When people's minds are unsettled, how can society achieve stability? In ancient times, for significant or momentous occasions, ritual music was always employed. Those who attained enlightenment or virtue would perform pieces aligned with the heavenly way. The higher the moral integrity of the musician, the greater the spiritual influence their music could exert. Music reflected the moral state of the performer. For instance, during the Three Kingdoms period, when Zhuge Liang executed his empty strategy, Sima Yi's army approached the city but hesitated to enter. Why? Because the serene and composed melody Zhuge Liang played on his zither revealed his calm and confident mindset. Sima Yi, suspecting an ambush, decided to retreat. On the surface, Zhuge Liang's music seemed to subdue Sima Yi's vast army, but in reality, it was his virtuous state of being that prevailed. The music was merely an external manifestation of his inner virtue. The Analects recounts another story. When Confucius visited the state of Qi, he heard the majestic and virtuous Great Shun music, Da Xiao, which was performed by Emperor Shun. For 3 months afterward, despite eating meat, he could not taste its flavor. In ancient times, meat was a rare delicacy, and having meat at an advanced age of over 70 symbolized peace and prosperity. Yet, Confucius, profoundly moved by the music, lost his sense of taste for months. Elegant music, noble, virtuous music, held immense moral and ethical power. From this story, we can grasp its extraordinary capacity to elevate and educate the soul. The ancients placed great importance on the moral and educational function of music. Not only students were required to study it, but it was also considered essential in managing families, governing the state, and bringing peace to the world. Many examples illustrate this belief. The Book of Documents records that during Emperor Shun's reign, the Miaozhou tribe rebelled. Instead of using military force, Emperor Shun applied moral education for 3 years. Soldiers were instructed to dance with shields and axes, inspiring the tribe to submit out of respect. Similarly, when Confucius and his disciples were surrounded while traveling, Confucius played the zither, and Zailu, along with the others, sang. Before long, the siege was lifted. These stories showcase how music, infused with virtue, could resolve conflicts and restore harmony. Chinese culture is divinely inspired, and the Guqin, with a history of over 3,000 years, embodies elements of this divine heritage. The melodies of the Guqin passed down through generations also carry profound meanings. The ancients revered heaven and earth, emphasizing harmony between humanity and nature, a philosophy deeply embedded in traditional culture. Music is not merely for listening. It serves as spiritual nourishment, bringing us joy and igniting inspiration in life. Moreover, modern medicine has shown that music can be a highly effective therapy for treating neurological and psychological disorders. That's the end of my sharing for today. If you found this meaningful, don't forget to like, leave a comment below, and subscribe. See you in the next video.